Sir Alan Parker, born February 14, 1944 in Islington, London, England, UK. A filmmaker, screenwriter, and producer, Alan Parker is one of the great 20th century artists and one of the most celebrated English film directors in history. His films have garnered 19 BAFTAs and 10 Academy Awards. He's been nominated for the Palme d'Or 5 times, and his work has radically changed how we perceive musicals, children's films, and modern drama. He helped launch the careers of Jodie Foster and Oliver Stone, and in 1980 he would partner with one of the greatest musical geniuses of the 20th century, Roger Waters. Together, the two would create one of the most important musicals in cinema, a dark, brooding nightmare that would become Pink Floyd The Wall. Released in 1982 and photographed in anamorphic on 35mm, Pink Floyd The Wall ushered in a new era of how cinematic musicals are perceived and announced the arrival of the 21st century nightmare. Originally conceived as a concert film by Roger Waters, the film Pink Floyd The Wall would evolve into something much more grand, more personal, and more exciting. When Alan Parker came to the project, his enthusiasm for the music ultimately shifted the concept from a concert film and evolved it into a feature. Roger Waters would go on to write the screenplay, while the brilliant artist Gerald Scarfe, whose famous illustrations set the tone for both the album and the film, would be directing. Alan Parker was slated to produce, but when the studios were not interested in funding a project with a first-time director, he took the reins and helmed what he would later call one of the toughest films I have ever made. Gerald Scarfe would ultimately retain his directing duties for the animated sequences, which are some of the most famous in film history. Pink Floyd The Wall is a psychological look at the destructive force of isolation, a phantasmagoric display of the human condition giving us insight into war, greed, and fascism. Alan Parker himself said that the movie was hard to understand, and that Roger Waters is probably the only one who could decode its message. Even though Alan Parker has publicly denounced auteur theory, I personally believe that without Alan's auteur touch, there would be no cinematic telling of such an important musical masterpiece. Without Alan Parker, Pink Floyd The Wall might only be perceived as a cash grab riding the coattails of an important rock album. Roger Waters said that the theatrical version of Pink Floyd The Wall is the lesser telling of his great opus. I'd like to point out that the film is a masterpiece in its own right. What Alan Parker brings is a confidence with the cinematic language that very few filmmakers have. You can see this in his films such as Midnight Express, Angel Heart, Mississippi Burning, Fame, The Commitments, and Bugsy Malone. I really hope you enjoyed the theatrical feature of Pink Floyd The Wall, and I hope that you take the time to investigate the work of Sir Alan Parker, an uncompromising auteur that should be studied by all who love cinema. Thanks for watching. My name is Ira Flowers, I'm a local filmmaker here in Portland, and don't forget to keep supporting the Clinton Street Theater. Cheers.